analogy for a trigger, what is a trigger? I think I might have talked to you about this. That a trigger is a script. It is a story. It has a cast of characters. It has its own narrative. And it's a trigger in which when that same thing gets triggered, the same story comes up. And it might be a story that has been being reenacted for like a decade or more. And so my analogy for it is that script is like a movie. So, if the trigger is fear, the movie is a scary movie. And the scary movie, you can imagine like there's the person, the character on the film, they're going into the woods and you're like, oh, don't go in the woods. If you go in the woods, you're going to die. And you can't control the person. They're just going to go in the woods. And they go in the woods and there's a house. And you're like, oh, don't go to that dark house. If you go to the dark house, you're going to die. Person goes onto the house and they go open the door. And you're like, don't open the door. Don't go into the house. And they walk into the house, right? And you're just following along this. You're out. You can't control it because the story, once it's triggered, it's going to go all the way through till the end. And then you see the slaughter and you're like, oh, we know the story because we've seen it before. And if we play the observer, we can start to recognize, oh, I'm in a story. I'm in that I'm in that triggered state. And we can stop the story right there.
Or at least you could be aware, even if
it starts with being aware. It starts with being aware.
Yeah.
But over time, as we're aware, we can actually stop. We can say, I don't want to continue this. And
even if the movie is gonna play.
The movie, it wants to keep. I can stop the script and instead reorient myself. And it's not just stopping and moving on. I would call that bypassing. It's stopping and saying, okay, I'm triggered. What is the emotion that is underneath this trigger? It's a scary movie. It's fear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've named it. I've named the emotion, and now I can do some breath work and I can breathe in and I can get to a point where I feel like I'm surrendering that fear. This is the idea where when fear gets triggered, it creates a chemical that cascades and floods the bloodstream. And the sooner I can get to deep breaths, I can dilute that with oxygen and get that to get filtered back out of my body so that I'm less in a fear state. Because as that chemical is moving through my body, it's literally impacting every cell of my body, almost vibrationally. You can feel fear. And the sooner I can breathe, I can get underneath it and I can get back to a neutral state. And so I can start to, so if you think of like, if I play the movie all the way out, then I am flexing the neurology of that entire movie. Mm-hmm. And the sooner I can get to this point, I'm bringing in a new type of neurology. And I can get closer and closer to the moment that I was triggered, to where I feel fear. I feel the fear before the movie even starts playing, and I can get to it then. Breathe. I'm still going to feel it. It still has to go through its chemical cascade in my body, but I can move through it quicker. And because I'm aware of it, I can also be in this conscious state of, I'm processing fear. Mm-hmm. It's going to impact my decision-making right now. So maybe now is not the best place to make important decisions. And if I have to make a decision right now based on where I'm at, then I can make a more thoughtful decision than I would if I was allowing it to play out without awareness and without being conscious to it.
Hey, thanks for checking out this clip. If you enjoyed it, I'd recommend checking out the entire episode. This is season 1, episode 5. This is Smith, tuning out of TAOTalks.